Hello, and welcome to For Better or Worse, a movie and TV podcast. The podcast where we review movies and TV. Follow us on Instagram at For Better or Worse.
You just went over it.
I know. Follow us on Instagram at For Better or Worse _podcast and on YouTube at FBOW, FBOW podcast to show us your support and tell us how much you like us. I'm Toby.
I'm Gino. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel because we want to get a URL.
That's right.
Which I learned from the Batman movie. URL.
URL.
And you can't get a URL until 100 subscribers. So please do yourself a favor. Do us a favor.
We're so close.
Like and subscribe because we're almost there. We're almost halfway
I feel like
there.
50 more. And
56 more.
We'll get you a URL, which I know you guys have just been like DMing me like, give us a URL.
So we are recording 3 episodes today, Toby. And you could notice if you're watching this episode, Toby's nails are not done. And then she's getting her nails done. So if you watch next week's episode, or whenever I put up the next episode, her nails will be done. But it'll be the same day because we'll be wearing the same clothes.
So you guys are blessed with the first one with the most energy today.
Unless you're watching on the, if you're listening on the audio version, so you give everyone who's listening some of your nail sounds. So they know? No, you can't give them like a little click, a little ASMR click. There you go. That's what our nails sound like now, and we'll listen to them next episode.
I can't support this.
So, Toby, are we watching? Is this a movie or a TV? What is it?
So this counts as a movie, all right?
But it's on the TV.
It is on the TV. Confused. So we watched Fire Island on Hulu.
Yeah, happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride to support Pride. Also,
got like 2 days left. We're a little late.
We're a
little late on Pride Month.
2 days. One day.
Days?
30 days.
Really
September, April, June, and November. Yeah.
I got a few days to put the podcast episode up. Yeah.
Literally,
happy Pride Month. I wore my Pride band.
Yeah, and I am wearing my Planned Parenthood shirt to show our support.
Not that anything happened in the news that she would specifically need to wear that.
Ugh, the world in which we live in. Anyway, so we watched Fire Island, and that's what we're going to review.
On Hulu, directed by...
Oh, God. Directed by Andrew Ahn.
Written by, because I feel like he's important.
Joel Kim Booster also stars in this.
Yes.
We've literally never done this before, so maybe we're starting something new where we talk about, I don't know, the people behind the movie.
Well, like this is also new for us because we're not talking about some sort of stupid like comic book or like blockbustery kind of thing.
I guess so. This is definitely a niche show.
Quite niche. Movie. I will say right off the get-go, that's a hard R. That's a hard R. It goes, I'm assuming up to like the limit of R. Like if the freaking, what's that movie with the marionettes that the South Park guys did?
Oh, Team America World Police.
Team America World Police got rated NC-17 for like showing marionette sex. And this just, I mean, like, they don't show any penises. Listen, there's no way I can review this episode without saying some bad words. But they pretty much show, like, straight up sex.
Right. So it's definitely not a family-friendly movie unless you are, like, willing to have that discussion with your child.
Yeah, which you should be.
I mean, right. So just
I mean, like, not the sex, not, like, showing sex to your child. That's not what I mean.
I would say, like, parental...
Just digging myself
What's it called? I know. You got to stop.
I'm just sweating.
Gino can't handle this episode already. What is it? Parental guide. Like, whatever you think is right for you. So let's keep going. So I guess non-spoiler review first, right? That's how we do it.
Yes. So Toby, what is the premise?
I guess I'll go first.
Yeah, you go first.
Okay.
Because I think it's Pride and Prejudice, but I've never read Pride and Prejudice. The last book I read was Rainbow Fish. So
basically, yeah.
I don't know.
Gino has 3 books in our collection. So the movie seems like, or is, and somebody used the word allegory that I spoke to. I'm really not up to date on my English terminology.
You're like very regular English words.
What does allegory mean?
I don't know.
Exactly.
It's one of those words that I use that I don't know what it means.
Right. So basically, it's like a mirror of Pride and Prejudice, where we have this group of friends that go to Fire Island each year. They stay at their friend's house, who's like an old lesbian, and she like got a house there off a whim. She made a lot of money at one point. Sorry, no, this is a spoiler-free review.
Can't say it.
Can't say it.
It's talking about them being gay, a spoiler, because I feel like that's pretty important.
Right. So they're a group of gay friends. They're going to Fire Island, which has a thriving gay community.
It's like historically, like especially, and they mention this in the movie,
which is important
for like people who aren't from New York.
Yeah.
Historically, when being gay was more like persecuted in this country, which is like for most of this country's history. Fire Island was like this like haven for people who lived in the area to kind of go to, where they can kind of be more or less openly gay, and hang out and party and whatnot. And we've gone to Fire Island.
We have. We went last year as our like pre-honeymoon trip.
And we've gone before.
And we've gone before, but that was like a stay. Like we haven't.
Yeah, and there's like different parts of Fire Island. I mean, like for such a small little island, there are like several parts. You can't walk from one part to the next. We learned last year. I don't know what the hell that was. There's like just a fence that blocks you from going. So this movie takes place in what part of Fire Island?
Cherry Grove.
No, they only go to Cherry Grove a couple times. That's not where they live. There's a different part. All right, it takes place in a different part, not Ocean Beach, which is the normie part. That's where we go.
I thought it did all happen in Cherry Grove.
I know they go to Cherry Grove, but I think they live somewhere else.
I don't know.
There's like three parts.
I don't think that's important.
And there's a state part. Whatever. I'm getting too Long Island-y. So that's Fire Island. It's like known for being like a haven for people who are gay.
Right. And I'd also like to point out that while we watch this movie, we're going to review it. We recognize that we are straight, cisgender people.
Despite what people told me in middle school,
right.
I am straight. Last I checked, despite the Pride band, which people are like, "Oh, you're coming out of the closet." I'm like, "No, I like it. I like the ally. That's why I bought it. That's what not just that I like it. I'm an Apple fanboy.
Right.
So yeah, like we obviously coming from the straight perspective as like a married couple, we're not up on a lot of like the lingo. There's like a lot of like things they talk about in the movie that are like, I think at least are like kind of things you would only really talk about if you were gay.
Right.
Or like language that you would use.
Right. I would agree. So like this is just, you got to take it as it is. We're going to be as careful with
boring and white as possible.
That's what I was going to say.
Straight as possible while not saying anything ridiculous, which we hope.
So,
but yeah, so like themes wise, it's a lot of like rich versus poor. Like that's kind of what it is. Like, they're like these poor, like kind of lame. They like make it clear pretty early on. They're like the reject group of gay guys.
Right.
And they start trying, and it's essentially Superbad, but for adult gay men, millennials. Where like their whole mission is to get like the most nerdiest person in their group laid,
right?
Because he's never had a boyfriend before.
I don't think maybe like the nerdiest, but just like the least promiscuous.
He wears the glasses, Toby. He's the nerdy one.
Sorry,
movie tropes here.
All right, I mean they troped it up.
Yeah. So like the people he ends up with is like this very, very rich. I mean, there's some like ridiculous house on Fire Island. Very rich, like posh, to use my British terms. Group of gay guys who look down upon like the poor ones, and it's this whole like rich versus poor thing.
Right, and then to bring in Pride and Prejudice, there's like a Mr. Darcy character who's like very, very stoic and doesn't seem to have a personality, and then over time like softens, and you all love him, and it's true. They did a great job with their Mr. Darcy.
Yeah, and in case you're dumb like us, they literally start the movie off because the main character likes to read, and he's like, "I like Pride and Prejudice." Smack. Right. So it's like, oh.
They actually do have a lot of, what do you say? The bomb. What do you say when you have you say a thing and then it happens?
Cause and effect?
No. You talk about a gun in a room and then somebody
Chekhov's gun.
Yeah.
Yes. Is this Chekhov's Pride and Prejudice book?
This is because then they talk about like, I don't know. I guess I can't spoil it yet.
For someone who's never taken a screenwriter class, Chekhov's gun is like if you show a gun in a movie. Maybe someone has to use it eventually. Like, don't show a gun if no one's going to use it.
I mean, they do a lot of that in the movie. I guess we can't talk about it yet.
Or is it Hitchcock's gun? I think it's Hitchcock.
We'll look it up.
Whatever.
I have an iPad in front of me.
We only do our movie review podcast.
But anyway,
So non-spoilers. Well, that's it? You got any more to say without spoiling? There's not much to talk about without spoiling it.
Right. No, we have to talk. I guess I like the shots were cool looking.
Oh, yeah. The cinematography was good. They used I realized it's summertime. So, like, they used the, like, standard, like, make everything orange summertime thing. Because, like, cameras now, as I've been learning with my new camera, you get, like, a very gray, boring color. So they have to choose, like, what color. Is it going to be blue for, like, New York? Is it going to be, like, orange for, like, Mexico or California? So it's just weird seeing, like, they use the orange tone for New York. I'm like, this isn't New York. My brain tells me this is California or Mexico. So yeah, but it's the summertime. So but I thought that, Fire Island's a nice place. So it's they got some good shots. I will say, like, I think I literally said at some point, I'm distracted by their pores. Like the cameras had, because it's on Hulu, it's 4K. I imagine it's probably shot in 4K. You could literally see every detail of their face, which like was almost distracting. I'm like in this nice moment, and I'm like, that guy's got like some nice skin, or like, oh wow, I could see like every dot.
It was Joel Kim Booster. You've got nice skin.
Yeah, you got nice skin.
Yeah.
Is that the Mr. Darcy guy? The like
no,
proper.
That's I was
distracted by his face.
Every time you told me it was that.
Yeah. So I don't know what that was. I don't know if they just used like the best cameras they had available, and they were like, let's just do it. But yeah, I thought it was some pretty good cinematography.
Yeah.
Good I mean, like I understood the characters.
Yes,
dialogue at times was like, eh.
We can talk about that when we talk about the spoiler.
So for better or worse?
I would say for better, because the ending was very good.
Yeah, I would say like the first half of the movie for worse, the second half of the movie for better. It does take a while to get going, but that last half is like pretty good. So like if they could have it's like also a little pretty long.
It's pretty long. We did have to watch it in 2 sittings.
Yeah.
One of my friends, I was talking to him, and he was like, you should rate movies, like, not by stars, but, like, how many times it took you to watch it. And, like,
that's like a millennial who has to watch it on TV.
Yeah, so that was, like, two sittings. 2 sittings.
So, yeah, I mean, like, if I had paid money, that's another thing. It's like, I watched it on Hulu, so I don't, although we watched a movie yesterday that I was like, yeah, this was fine. Mm-hmm. And we did pay money to see it.
We did pay money to see it.
Did you pay the money to see it?
I did.
Okay, just making sure. So, yeah, like, it's worth a watch. You have Hulu, throw it on.
Yeah, I would say it is a nice perspective into another life that maybe you aren't familiar with. Like, especially if you're one of those people that's like, I wonder what the gay community does during the summer.
I used to think that all the time.
This is a great insight, I guess, into how Fire Island works. The like, the relationship between, a group of
friends
of gay friends, and how they function. So like, for better.
Okay, cool. Spoilers.
Okay.
All right, so I need someone who is gay and who has been to Fire Island and is part of the gay community to explain to me if this movie is over exaggerated or not. Because again, I'm calling this basically like Superbad, but for adult millennials who are gay. But Superbad like is what my high school experience was like, but like way over exaggerated.
Right, like we didn't have like crazy parties like that,
right?
Like
and
stuff
like
that.
So if you took Superbad and like multiplied it times, if you took my life and multiplied it by its 10, that's Superbad. So like, is this as over exaggerated for what actual Fire Island is like?
Right. And I think what we're both wondering, are there dark rooms in the back of clubs where people just have sex? Like,
and why did no one tell me? Why did no one tell me to avoid
that part of Fire Island?
Yes. I've been to Fire Island 3 times and no one told me.
Right. So like we're curious. Also, something else that
I have to pause. I'm sorry, Toby. I'm interrupting. I should have put this in the beginning. I'm going to interrupt this video right now with a picture of Toby's last experience on Fire Island eating lobster. If I remember to put it in here, it's right here. Here it is.
Oh my God, happiness.
How happy does she look?
Okay.
Okay, how's the lobster, Tubbs?
Oh, it's so good. I love lobster.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so like that kind of, like, I want to know, right, does that happen? Also, if you've gotten a house there, like we haven't gotten a house there, we've stayed in a hotel.
Yeah.
And it seems that is just like a very common thing that people do. They go in for a house together. I'm
sure there's a lot of Airbnbs in there.
Yep. So let us know.
We're actually just doing this podcast to like get advice for travel. Actually, that's
right.
Screw the movie review.
Anybody have a house that we can just
all right. So we kind of mentioned, without spoiling things, that like the dialogue isn't like always the greatest in this. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's like a side effect of them trying to
Pride and Prejudice it
up, because there's one scene where our main character, who's like this, he keeps saying he's a nurse, but I think he's lying.
Oh, Joel Caboose. So should we talk? So yeah.
Let's talk about the characters.
So we've got the characters. So we've got Noah, who's played by Joel Kim Booster.
Yep.
And
millennially 30-year-old living in the city.
Right, like
movie
fit.
starts off on a Thursday. He's like having sex with some guy, kicking him out of his house.
Right. And
very in shape.
I only know him because he's been a guest on a podcast I listen to.
Oh,
Bitch
cool.
Sesh.
What about this podcast, Joel Kim Booster? Come
Joel
on
Kim
over
Booster,
to Dick Sills. We'll get you a third seat. You can sit right. I can zoom out.
I will buy one of
right
these
here in
from
the
Amazon.
fireplace.
Yeah. So his character, he just wants to have fun. He doesn't seem like he's too serious of a person.
Yeah, he's like, monogamy is dumb. I hate monogamy. Blah, blah, blah.
Right. So he is talking to his best friend, right?
Oh, he's also the narrator, by the way. He narrates the whole movie.
Right. He's also the writer.
Also the writer.
So he's like kind of a big deal in it. And then, so you're talking about the writing part where he's talking to Howie, who is Bowen Yang, known from SNL.
The nerdy one. Yes,
who's
known for SNL. He was like, he's on SNL. I was like, I've never seen him.
Gino doesn't watch SNL. Of course you've never seen him.
I see clips every now and again.
You should definitely have seen at least one clip of Bowen Yang.
What politician does he play? Because you only show me clips if it's a politician.
I'm sorry. Are there any, like...
Do they make him play Andrew Yang?
I don't know. I don't think they've
That'd be messed up if they made him play... I guess who else do they have who's Asian?
But then my question was going to be how many Asian politicians you know?
Andrew Yang.
No, Bowen Yang does, like, other things.
Okay.
I don't know. He does a lot with, like,
I
Amy
thought
Bryant.
he would, because he's on SNL. I was like, oh, he must have written the movie.
No.
But it was the other guy.
I mean, they probably wrote it together. It seems like this was, like, a love child of all of the buddies in it. I imagine they're all friends. So, yeah.
He's the nerdy one. He has his life put together. He has a job out in San Francisco.
Yep.
But he's never had a boyfriend. He, like, doesn't really get laid a lot. So, like, he's the kind of... he's the one that, like, the main character wants to get laid. Like, that's his mission.
Right.
For the
And
movie.
they're like best friends. They met while they were...
They do this a lot. It's really cute. The little ET thing. Boop.
Yeah. Very cute little buddy things that they do. Me and my best friend don't do things like that. Do you and your best friend do stuff like that?
No.
Okay.
Toby, you're my best friend.
Okay.
Millie's my best friend. Millie.
Yikes. Millie, boop. Boop.
There you go. You and Millie do it.
Okay. So then we have, still going in their little friends group, we have Matt Rogers, who plays Luke.
What do we know about Matt Rogers?
We know Matt Rogers is from Long Island.
Woo.
He's from Islip. I'm outing you. Yeah, I think Maine. No, I think regular Islip.
Regular Islip?
Right.
There's like 5 Islips.
I think
Too
it's
many Islips.
Okay, relax. I think it's regular.
Regular Islip.
Yeah. So, and people like know him around Long Island, which is very cool.
We don't know him.
He's also like our age.
Come on the podcast.
Yeah, Matt Rogers, I heard you on Bitch
Just at
Sesh.
the episode at him a million times.
I'm going
Come on the
to.
podcast. You live around the block.
I know you do podcasts. I heard you on Bitch Sesh. I heard you with somebody else that I listen to. It's just like...
Listen, we have like 40 subscribers on YouTube.
They would love to see you.
Come on our podcast.
I also wish there was more dynamic between... I like wanted to see more...
We can't invite anyone on our podcast. We only have 2 mics.
Sorry, buddy.
We need a third mic.
Gino and I will share, just like we share our
Yeah,
life
we'll just
together.
talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
We just share everything.
Yeah. So I wanted to see the friend group interact more and have more dialogue, because when they did interact, they would bring up pop culture. They had one Housewives reference. I needed more than that.
Oh, I thought it was funny that this movie takes place, specifically they mentioned, is 2022.
Yeah.
Because there's like a line in it where it seems like a script that I would write, because it's like he's doing something on his phone in the beginning.
No, he's right. His phone broke.
Yeah, he drops his phone in the he drops his phone in the pool, and I'm like, iPhones are waterproof. Like, when does this take place? And then the next line, he's like, "Of course I'm poor. Well, who else would be having an iPhone 6 in 2022?" And I'm like, "Oh, I wrote the script. Okay, I got it."
Yeah, they fixed it. They fixed the plot.
So they mentioned it's 2022, and I'm like, "Does this take place in the future?"
It did.
Because right now it's June 2022. It could be taking place now, like as we're already the episode.
Isn't that wild?
Or it took place like in the future. So this is technically a sci-fi movie.
You guys hear that? You wrote a sci-fi movie.
It's a sci-fi movie.
Classify it. So we also have, we didn't see much of Luke. He was like generally just like partying.
Yeah, I would say like aside from the 2 main characters, the other friends in the group were kind of like one-dimensional. They didn't really have a lot of
like substance.
Yeah, and like I guess there wasn't enough screen time in it. That's
what I'm saying. Like the movie was pretty long, and excuse me.
Yeah, I guess I would have wanted more from the friend group, but they were kind of just like background dressing for the interactions between the 2 main characters and the posh rich people.
Right. So that's what like upset me a little bit. And
that might be a side effect from them trying to do
Pride and Prejudice? I don't know. Maybe. I guess. I mean, there are a bunch of sisters that are like side characters.
You don't even like me.
Then we have Tomas Matos, who played Keegan, and he was another, like, I wanted more from him.
Yeah.
And then Torian Miller played Max. And again, like, he was like the one that was nervous about stuff, that like
didn't do drugs.
Right. And he had great one-liners, and I was like, I would have
liked more from him. Yeah, so I think if I was going to do this movie, I want more from the other three friends.
Because they each have their own personality, and like, no offense, but like Howie and Noah were like kind of like blah. You know, like they were like, they wanted to be funny, but like they said regular things.
I would say like the comedy in this wasn't great. And again, that could just be like jokes that we don't get.
I think that might be
over our heads.
Yeah.
Which is totally possible. But like, yeah, I guess because we like characters a lot. I think we've come to understand on this podcast.
Right.
So that like we would rather have a movie about the 5 friends than the 2 friends interacting with these a-holes.
Right, because that's essentially what it ended up being. So, right, so they go out the first night, and and then Margaret Cho is like
the mom
figure that owns the house. Right, she's a comedian, and she did a fine job.
Yeah, for a movie with a lot of comedians in it. Like, well,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I wanted it to be like punchier.
We're not. Our podcast isn't as funny as it should
as we
be.
think we are.
As we think we are.
Yeah. So
someone told me at work, "Well, your podcast's not like funny." I'm like, "Oh."
We're gonna work on it, guys.
Knock.
We'll take improv classes again.
We'll take Dix Hill's improv classes.
Dix Hill's improv.
Millie's funny. Hi, Millie. I know.
Millie's hilarious. So then they go out. This one character, Charlie, is looking at Howie, who's Bowen Yang, and like looking at. I'm like, hey, like
Charlie is the one that the nerdy guy falls in love with. Yes?
Correct. So then Joel Kim Booster's character knows, like, go talk to him.
Yeah.
And eventually they talk to him. Now Charlie, you guys know I love seeing characters in other things.
He's from like something. He's got to be from something.
You have never seen it. He's from You. He is 40. And
is he the main character in You?
I'm going to pretend you didn't say that.
I don't know who.
No.
He looks like a regular boring white guy.
Exactly. Oh. And in You, he's the brother of the crazy person.
Oh, he kind of looks like him. Yeah. That makes sense. That's a good person to pick for his brother.
No. You're not.
Not his real brother? No. Fake brother?
So Gino hasn't seen You, and I'm confusing him. No.
You just said he's his brother.
No. He is Love's brother. They're twins.
Then
Love is, I know.
You sound dumb. I'm not reviewing it.
Oh my God, you're so good. Penn Badgley. Penn Badgley is the main character. Okay? He's Joe, sorry. Anyway, this isn't a You. Whatever. He's 40. And
everyone at work watches You. Right. All the hen ladies, which is why I don't want to.
You should watch. So in You, 40 is like a crazy, like partier, super rich, big personality. And in this, Charlie is like adorable. He's a vet. He's like
very nice.
Very nice, kind. Like
that's his character. Nice. I mean, they say he's nice a million times. That's his character. Nice.
Right. And so I was just shocked at the dynamic that this actor has. Like his name is...
You can play not nice and nice.
Yes. James Scully, very impressed. I even tweeted him.
I guess, yeah, now that we're talking about it, the characters are like a little one-dimensional. Like he's just nice. There's no like chutzpah to that.
Right. There's like... And also...
Did I use that properly, Toby?
You did. Good job. I mean, I think so.
Chutzpah?
No, that's like...
Would you describe me as having chutzpah?
In some cases. Is that
what about
fair?
right now?
Right now?
Am I chutzpahing it up right now? I didn't eat breakfast. That's not true. I had breakfast.
You had breakfast. You'll chutzpah it up when we keep going. Sorry, I was going to say that I wanted more, because then Joel Kim Booster talks about the relationship with his mom and how it's like strange.
Yeah, we never see it.
And then we never talk about it.
It's like in the prequels when they have the elevator scene. I'm going to play everything in the prequels. Where they have Anakin and Obi-Wan in episode 2 just like talking about how they're friends and talking about all these experiences. Show me.
Or if you're going to talk about it.
That's the movie I wanted to watch.
Right, like phone calls with your mom. Like I want to see and like Bo and Yang, they use a clip of Bo and Yang talking about coming out because it happened already. It happened off camera.
Right, which like I get that like these characters are already at that place, and like if they're not the kind of movie that's going to do like cutaways, then like they're not going to do that. But like it's just like it sucks when you have a movie where the things that the characters are talking about that happened in the past, like that, I want to watch that. Like, show me that.
Right, or I want to see the effect, and then I want to see like growth from it.
I want a prequel to this, actually.
I know, right? I want to see a prequel where you guys are all in the city.
I'm suggesting
out.
at the end that I want a sequel to this movie where it's just the 5 characters and it's not trying to be Pride and Prejudice.
Yes.
So we because like I like the character, like or I feel like I would like the characters. There's something there, but I want more of those characters and their interactions. So like do a sequel, Fire Island 2, no more Pride and Prejudice.
Right. And I like we respect what you did there because Pride and Prejudice is wonderful. But like you guys could have done some story all on your own.
Or do like we did with Pride and Prejudice, do Fire Island and zombies.
And zombies.
That would be a good.
I would also watch
for
that.
Halloween.
One
I'd
of the
watch the hell out of that.
Now I'm trying to think of the like parts of the writing that I did like. I really liked that every time Joel Kim Booster would enter the rich house, the guy would say, "How can I help you?
How can I help you? You need a new line.
Right.
Shut up."
I was here yesterday.
Yeah, like I liked the way, like there was just, I mentioned before there was a scene that I didn't like with the way they were talking.
Yeah.
And so I guess I only felt this once in the movie. Millie's eating a plant.
I know.
There's a scene where it's like underwear night where they go to a club and everyone's in their underwear. And that's where the red room is, where everyone's like doing it in the back. And the main character is like doing stuff in the back with
Noah is doing something with this guy Dex, who's like we've been told he's a bad guy, but whatever.
So he's giving him a how can I say this without getting in trouble? A PG.
I don't think you can. He's doing things. He's doing things that you do behind closed doors.
Yes, and then they do the rom-com thing where like he like picks his head up and like hits him in the face. Yeah. So there's that rom-com thing. Anyway, so whilst Noah's doing that in the red room, the Mr. Darcy character sees him, and they like run after each other, and they have like an argument, and they just start psychoanalyzing each other in the argument. I'm like, no one talks like this in real life.
They don't.
And if you do talk like that in real life, stop. That's not a. It's like, you're only doing that because of the way your mother treated you and blah, 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 blah. It's like, well, you're only doing that because you think everyone likes you, but no one really actually likes you.
That's
I'm like,
exactly
stop.
what happened.
Like, this is not therapy. You're 2 guys who just met a couple days ago who are arguing in the rain, and it's thundering out. Go inside.
Right? You could get hit by lightning.
So that's the only part where I was like, this dialogue is not good.
Well, I think that happens in Pride and Prejudice where like, and you know what? I suck because I don't remember the main character's name. I only see.
It's not Pride. Her name's not Pride.
No, and Prejudice.
Is it Pride and Prejudice because it's Pride? Like Pride?
No.
No?
No.
That would have been a good name for the movie too. Like Pride, underline, underline, underline. And Prejudice.
That's a new movie.
Like Pride, Rainbow.
Right. I'm with you.
And Prejudice.
That's the new movie.
I'm naming the YouTube video of that.
Okay. No, I'm trying to think of the character's name, and all I see is what's her face that played it, and she's from Pirates of the Caribbean.
I didn't even know it was her who played
Keira
it,
Knightley.
and I was gonna say it was her.
It's Keira Knightley
as a joke, and that's what happened in real life.
Right. So it's Keira Knightley. I don't remember the main character's name. I'm the worst.
Not Natalie Portman.
Not Natalie. Yeah. So I think Keira Knightley and then the Mr. Darcy argue in the rain and like do that to each other.
Sure, but that makes sense for like an old timey wimey thing.
But if they're doing it mirroring, right? So then they're going to do it. So like again,
mirror it with language that's modern.
Well, there's nothing we can do now, right?
Okay,
it's been written.
We are not good writers,
right?
As far as I know. So
if we were better writers, we'd have written something
right. I have never made a movie in my life. I can't even figure out my camera. So again, we're just critiquing it because that's what we like to do.
Right.
Because we suck.
Remember, those who can't teach, no.
Those who can't do, review.
Review. That's a good, those who can't do, review. Sorry, you get us. Mm-hmm. So that was great. Right. Some of the writing also just between, even the conversations between like Bo and Yang's character, I forgot his name, Howie and Joel Kim Booster, Noah, they were like talking like friends, but like it was clearly written. So that's also tough to like stay with, you know, like you want it to just feel natural and feel like
this
is
would have
how
been a
friends
good
would
opportunity for like a little bit of, I don't know how much was improv in there, but like maybe a little bit of improv.
I think I would agree, because I think they would have done,
or it was too much improv. One of those.
Right.
It needed more, or it needed less.
You guys have to tell us.
I'm a good critic.
You guys can DM us and say, "Hey, we did a
We
lot."
actually did it's all improv. There's no script.
Right. That would be wild. Okay.
This was all just one big Harold. Someone started a gay Fire Island thing in Pride and Prejudice. We just went with it. Yeah.
Where can we go from here?
We went to C. Or we skipped B and went to C.
I say A to C so much in my job.
Harolds are dumb.
I love taking improv. I did UCB for four
and you never did a
classes.
show. This could have been. You could have been on this in this movie too.
I could have, but the commitment was a lot, and you
could have been Margaret Cho's character.
No,
I picked
definitely younger. I'm definitely too young.
Are you? Though?
I'm literally their age.
You own a house now.
I do own a house. You guys can come
on the podcast. Margaret Cho. We've got 3 bedrooms. Only one of them is being used up by the dog.
If you guys like dogs,
it's got a futon.
Okay. Come and stay with us. And okay, so let's get to the part we actually really liked.
The end.
Which was the end.
No, I don't say that as an insult. Like the ending part.
Right. Like
third act.
So all through this movie, they keep saying like this guy Dex, who's super hot, is a bad guy. He's a bad guy.
Dex is not on roids. I would be shocked.
Maybe he is. But
please DM me if you're on roids.
Will, who the Mr. Darcy, kept warning Noah like, hey, he's a bad guy. You don't want to do anything with him. And throughout the movie, you're like, well, like, get to it. Like, why is he a bad guy?
Now, again, in real life, anyone would be like, yeah, so he does revenge porn?
You would tell them.
Don't go near him. Like, that's just like such a standard, like, I like to talk smack kind of conversation.
No, that is specifically from Pride and Prejudice.
Revenge porn?
No.
Not telling them.
Not telling them because Mr. Darcy's like, you don't want your sister to marry. Well, let me explain.
Yeah.
You don't want your sister to marry this guy. He's a bad dude. And I think it's because he's been getting money. Like Darcy's been loaning him money. And I think, gosh, we tried to watch it, you guys, but it's not streaming for free anywhere. Yeah, we tried to watch it.
So, like, you're making it clear to me that the things I don't like about this movie are things I don't like about Pride and Prejudice, which I've never seen, and now I don't want to.
Ugh, it's so good.
So, like, please make Fire Island 2 no Pride and Prejudice.
I think I would love to see that as well. Just like an actual week there.
Like, they go back, and now they have to get, like, hotel because the house is gone. And they're like, we're in the background, like, hey,
did you lobster?
Where do we get breakfast? Yeah.
So then, so he does revenge porn. So he ends up sleeping with Luke, who like has a super drunken night and does not consent to being videotaped. And he posts it
to the sex because he's blackout.
Right.
And so then our laws.
Right. So we need consent.
I like the way they say it in the movie. The lawyer says it. Enthusiastic consent. I like that one.
Yes. And then it becomes like a big thing where they send the video around and Noah, Joel Compuster's character, is like,
I'm going to kick the crap out of him.
I'm going to kill Dex. And then they see Will, Mr. Darcy, and he's like, I'm going to kill him.
Look, you were right. Like, you told me he was a bad guy, and like, look.
Right.
I would have been mad at Mr. Darcy for being like, you didn't tell me he does this.
Right. Like, I would have warned all of my friends.
But then the best line in the movie, Mr. Darcy's like, I'm going to kill him too. So they both go together.
Right. That was adorable.
And I was like, nice, we're getting a fight scene. So they push him in a pool. It's the coolest. It's like probably the best scene in the movie.
Yeah.
They push him in the pool.
There was one where he tries to get out and he's like, you don't deserve to be dry.
Yeah, he pushes him in the pool. And then Mr. Darcy is like, Noah's like threatening him, yada, 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 like you better delete the video. And then Mr. Darcy, who's a lawyer, is like, actually, you just broke like 1 million laws and you're going to jail for like 1 million years. Please delete it now and we'll settle out of court with my client who's around, whatever.
Right.
So that's probably the best scene in the movie.
Which was fun. So Gino was like, this is illegal.
I was like, yeah, this is new because it's newly illegal, which is weird. And it's not illegal in every state, which is also weird. But revenge porn is where you take video of someone without their consent and you put it online.
Well, that was with the Kardashians, right? Like Rob Kardashian did that to Blac Chyna.
Yes. I don't know if that was like what state that was or like.
I guess California.
I don't know if that's illegal in California or not, but I know in New York it's I think fairly recent.
And he lost. He posted a picture of her vagina a few years ago, And I think he lost and had to pay her a lot of money.
That's what he deserves. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I was like, oh, that's illegal in New York now. I wonder if they'll bring it up because it is the future, right? It's 2022.
That's right. That's what happened.
Summer of 2022. Or it's right now.
If only they could have predicted other things that happened.
Yeah, and then, like, again, it seems like I wrote the script. And he's like, that's illegal. And blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay.
Which is really great. So, and like they like say he's a lawyer. So that the culmination of that felt really good.
So he deletes all of it, and then Noah's character throws the phone in the pool.
Yeah.
And I'm like, probably. I was like, oh, this is another guy who has a poor phone. And then again, something that I would write in a script, which is probably why I shouldn't write scripts. He's like, that phone's waterproof. He's like, don't ruin my moment. Like,
yeah.
Blah.
So, that was the best part. It was, I feel like we didn't even get, like, most of the movie was Charlie and Howie, right? The hot vet, the nice guy, and the nerdy guy, like, getting to know each other, not having sex.
Like, it was always kind of like off camera they were getting to know each other, like over there.
Yeah.
Because the movie really followed Noah. Like, Noah was the main character.
Right, which is essentially like Pride and Prejudice, where like a lot of the love story happens not around the main character. I know, Gino's like, I guess I'm never watching. The ending is adorable, right? They're like, okay, Howie's like, I'm leaving because Charlie's ex came, like they flew him back in.
Charlie's like dramatically over the top.
Racist.
Like, yeah, kind of like pretty racist. And like, he looked like a villain from like I'm trying to remember the Little Rascals movie. Isn't there like a rich kid in the Little Rascals movie?
I don't know.
Like he seemed like a very over the top, like 80s and 90s, I'm rich and I'm better than everybody kind of person. And I'm like, That's probably Pride and Prejudice, like ruining this movie again.
I honestly don't remember, if we're being honest.
So yeah, so like they like bring in his ex, Charlie's ex.
Essentially like to make Howie upset and get Howie to leave early. So now we have to have this big, crazy.
So he gets on the ferry. We've been on that ferry, Toby.
We have been on that
And that's
ferry.
the one that the guy from Below Deck
Yes.
drove.
Colin.
Do you think he was driving it?
Colin, if you were driving it, please let us know.
You have to DM a lot of people now, Toby.
Oh my God.
Slide on in.
I'm going to slide in. Do I have your permission to slide into multiple DMs?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. You heard it here first, guys.
Okay, Colin.
She's coming for you.
Colin will come for you.
So he gets on the boat to leave, and the only line that you laughed out loud. We're not getting there. I'll tell you. I don't even remember the only line you laughed out loud.
My God.
Yeah, we got to it. So what's the character's name that leaves?
Sorry, I'm thinking about the line. It's Howie.
So Howie leaves early.
He takes the ferry.
And he's like, don't go tell Charlie.
Right.
So then Noah immediately goes to tell Charlie.
Yeah.
And then Charlie and Mr. Darcy come too late. So Noah's like, well, you're going to have to do something like big and stupid to like get him back because you have to like chase after the boat. So they steal a water taxi. They drive back to Bayshore. Which is where, again, Long Island people, that's where the boat lands.
You're right, the other port.
So they go to Bayshore and...
they're like, Howie!
Yeah, they have like the pride flags. And then Charlie jumps off the boat and he's trying to explain...
Even before that,
so this is the line. He's like... Go ahead.
I don't think we're going to deliver to that.
No.
Bo and Yang, literally not happy to see anybody. And he's like, they're all cheering.
The most Long Island-y thing ever.
And he's like, guys, I have a 6:15 train to catch. I like can't even say.
Is there a Bayshore? You have to walk to the train. Like, where's the Bayshore train station?
I have no idea. Let me just tell Bo and Yang, whoever wrote that.
That was the best line.
That was the best line, the best delivery. That's exactly how I sound when I have a train. Like, you guys are making me late. I'm going to miss my train. I'm going to miss my flight.
There's a train at 6:15. Like, this is your big moment that you've been wanting your whole life. Right. I got to get a train.
I have a 6:15 train.
So Charlie jumps off the train and... he's like trying to explain to Noah.
Right, they're like, do something big.
He's like, I love you. He's like, no, too much. Yeah, so that whole scene was pretty great.
So good. Like, it feels like the end is when you guys, like, it feels like you guys wrote the end first.
Is it also like Obi-Wan where they just wrote, it's just what they came up with the ending first.
It must be.
And then we're like, what do we do for the rest of it?
Right, like now we need the rest of the movie. It was just so good and like emotional. And he's like, you're awesome. You're beautiful. I really, really like you. They have a lovely kiss.
Yes. The end.
Sorry, something else I'd like to point out. The music is really good. I liked all of the music choices in this movie.
It was all Britney Spears.
No, because the first song I thought was awesome. It was from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh.
It was
the Mr. Candy. Oh no,
it was the one
Come with me and you'll see.
Yes, but obviously they didn't
for
do
like
it.
Fire Island.
But they like whatever version they found was like it perfectly encapsulated the magic.
Oh, I've got a lot to talk about music for
Fire
our
Island.
next review. For Elvis.
Oh,
very
God.
upset.
So, but the music, like, kudos to whoever picked the music. I loved every part of it. Oh yeah, there was a dance number. They sang Britney Spears, which was like very
There's a lot
cute.
of Britney Spears. There's a lot of orchestral renditions of Britney Spears.
Yeah.
I was like, do gay people only listen to Britney Spears? Because that's the stereotype. Is that like a real?
They're millennial. I sang Britney Spears in the back of my parents' van when we drive places, and they'd be like,
I also listen to Britney Spears a lot.
Right. Britney Spears was who I would sing, and I like before I took course, I was very nasal, so I'd be singing like, oh baby, baby. And my parents would be like, you need to stop.
Stop doing that, please.
We can hear you.
Bring your voice down to here.
Right. Like I didn't realize how loud I was with headphones on. I was like, just in the back of my van.
You know it's bad because your parents probably never complain when you play the trumpet.
Not once. But when I sing, they're like, we've heard enough.
It's too loud.
It's too loud.
So, yeah, I mean, like, again, for better. I mean, like, there's definitely some stuff. I guess since we did the no spoilers, now they're talking about it more.
Yeah.
Because we don't talk about these movies pretty much until we do the podcast. You've made it very clear to me again that the things I don't like about this movie are Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah.
So please make Fire Island 2.
We will watch Fire Island 2. We want to see
No Pride and Prejudice.
You guys hanging out. The conflict. Are you still dating? Did Noah ever go visit Howie in San Fran? What'd you guys do with the Margaret Cho house? Like, I want to see the five
You
friends
want us to be in the background. We'll be in the background. I'll wear this shirt.
Right, and I will wear this shirt, and I'm sure you guys are cool with it. So yeah, I'm gonna say for better as well.
Yeah, I think you've changed my mind. So now I definitely want to say for worse. But it's like Pride and Prejudice. No, I want to say for worse.
Oh wow!
But it's
you just said I changed your mind.
I know because it's not the filmmaker's fault. It's Pride and Prejudice's fault.
Right.
So like, I like everything in the movie that did not have to do with Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah, I think I think we want to see more from Joel Kim Booster.
Yeah,
but from Joel Kim Booster.
Right. So like, do more.
Do more. We will support
We will watch
you.
it. Put it on Netflix though or Apple TV because they do HDR and Hulu doesn't. That's the other thing. This movie, going back to cinematography, this movie would have looked gorgeous in HDR with how much like sunsets shots they got, and Hulu doesn't do HDR. So, boo.
Boo-hoo.
Even we do HDR. I do it poorly, but we do it. So, stop putting it on Hulu.
I would definitely go see it. Go see it. Turn it on your TV if you want.
Yeah. Well, if you like Pride and Prejudice and you're not like a horrible person who are like homophobic, watch this. Mm-hmm. Now, again, I don't know if you heard the controversy. I don't know what I'm saying again. I haven't brought this up yet. Have you heard the controversy with Buzz Lightyear? Why all the a-holes think Buzz Lightyear's not successful?
Yeah.
So what is the reason why all the a-holes think?
Because there's one
same-sex kid. If you're the kind of person who thinks that Buzz Lightyear's not successful because there is a single lesbian kiss,
don't see this.
No, please watch this. Please. Someone should tie your eyeballs open and force you to watch this.
Because, whatever is scaring you about that.
Buzz Lightyear having a lesbian kiss is going to, this movie is going to punch you in the head.
What are you, again, we can't fathom, what the problem is.
Why are none of the conservative a-holes complaining about this movie?
Gay people have been subjected to straight people kissing for a very long time.
Literally ever.
And, I think and they were probably
if I were Pixar, I would make a new cut of Buzz Lightyear that just flashes to the scenes of this movie in the Red Room and then just show that. Because people are reacting to Buzz Lightyear the way that, as if Buzz Lightyear had scenes from this movie in it. It's we're going to watch it every. Now, I'm going to tell you the real reason why Buzz Lightyear is not being successful. Because it's going to be on Disney Plus in a month. I'm not going to see Buzz Lightyear.
No, we're going to watch it.
If I know it's Marvel movie, sure, but I'm not seeing Buzz Lightyear because one, I'm 30 years old, we don't have a kid yet, and two, it'll be on Disney Plus in a month.
Yeah, sorry, Chris Evans. I heard it's not.
I figured it's not because of lesbian kisses.
No,
you weirdos.
We're going to and we'll review it and we'll tell you why.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
I'm not.
Not excited to go see the movies.
Well,
is that it?
That's it. Thank you for listening to For Better or Worse. If you like what you heard and want to know more, visit our website for betterorworse.buzzsprout.com and subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or whatever you use so you never miss an episode. Like and subscribe to our show on YouTube so you can see what we look like and watch our cat.
Are you saying the...
On YouTube, FBOW Podcast.
Yay. We'll do a URL once we can. We got to get 100 subscribers.
And
subscribe.
Then, to let us know what you think, comment and leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It really helps the show. Like and subscribe. And then we'll see you next time when we review more movies and TV. Bye.
Bye. I don't know why I messed up. Bye. Yay. I don't know why I'm clapping. Okay, bye.